Good evening. This is SBC News. The police have confirmed that the body of a 32-year-old woman, Birgitta Alphonse, was discovered floating in the sea at Anse Royal this morning. The police were alerted at around 6 by a visitor who was taking pictures at the time. She was certified dead sometimes later. The fire, which has been burning on the landfill for 4 days now, remains under control. Work will continue through the night to finish covering the burning waste with earth and coral fill. 6 excavators and 10 20-ton trucks are helping in covering the affected area, whilst the Seychelles Fire and Rescue Services Agency, the FRSA, continues to flood the area. The senior SFRSA officer, John Madeleine, said the fire threatened to break out again in the early hours of this morning, but they managed to contain it. Meanwhile, the SFRSA has received a first batch of protective masks that will help them in this incident and future fires. Adults 40 years and above accessing medical services at primary healthcare facilities will, upon consent, soon undergo testing for diabetes and high blood pressure. The Chief Executive Officer of the Healthcare Agency, Dr. Danny Louange, launched the SAPEN plan this morning at the Sheikh Khalifa conference room at the Seychelles Hospital. The aim of SAPEN is to better manage and reduce the mortality and morbidity burden of non-communicable diseases. Seychelles received support from the WHO to launch the initiative.
Most of our patients in Seychelles access our health services through the primary health care facilities, where they receive professional, preventive, curative care. And these facilities are also the main entry point, even for patients who are going to access specialized care. And this is particularly the case for hypertension, diabetes, and even cancer as well, which affect many people in Seychelles. Making a well-structured screening and standardized treatment an essential part of the cardiovascular prevention and treatment strategies is essential.
Tomorrow, the 1st of October, is the International Day of the Older Persons. In a message sent for this occasion, the Ministers of Youth, Sports and Family says that this day presents each of us with not only the chance to renew commitments towards the wellness and betterment of our older citizens, but to take stock, applaud and give due appreciation to the contributions that they bring to our society and country. She says that while this year's theme calls for the celebration of the resilience and contributions of older women in our society, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Family is calling for a national celebration and appreciation of all elderly citizens and their families in the country. Minister Zialo says that in line with the ministry's family theme, Mon Famille, Mon Care, My Family, My Heart, launched in May this year, let us as a society do better to take care of our elderly men and women, just like they took care of us when we were dependent on them. Tourists will be able to learn more about different species of plants that exist in the country. This is through the Biodiversity Heritage Tour that the Biodiversity Centre is offering. The tour is a collaboration between the Tourism Department and the Seychelles Parks and Garden Authority. During the official opening ceremony of the tour, the Principal Secretary for Tourism, Sharon Francis, said that this new service will help to persuade tourists to spend more money, as there will be more things for them to do on their holidays. On the other hand, the CEO of the SPGA, Alain Cedras, said this new addition will help promote our culture to visitors. The tour is free for locals, whilst tourists will have to pay 150 rupees as an entry fee. Mangrove trees are able to retain carbon gas for several centuries. This point came out during a workshop to present results of an assessment of mangrove here in Seychelles, a study which was organized by the Blue Economy and funded by SECAT. This was carried out by a group of local scientists and from Deakin University, Australia. During the ceremony, which was held at the Savoy Hotel this morning, participants, who included the Minister for Environment, Flavien Joubert, were able to learn about the methods to carry out tests on the mangrove and its habitat. Data collected will help Seychelles in its effort to gain the support of international organizations such as the United Nations in its fight against climate change.
We have targets that look at reducing the amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere by 2030. And mangrove ecosystem has not been accounted yet as a contributor in the reduction of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So the work we are doing right now actually provides us with the data that we need to have the right interpretation in terms of how much carbon are being removed by the mangrove ecosystem. And altogether this result will provide Seychelles with the right information, the right data for us to be able to be in a better position to negotiate Seychelles' position in terms of carbon mitigation. Some of the benefit really is not only the carbon sequestration ability of the mangroves, but also putting more attention on the health of the mangrove in general, because mangrove doesn't provide us only with the mitigation, climate change mitigation aspect, but it provides us with a lot of ecosystem services. For example, protecting the ocean from pollutant, protecting the ocean from physical waste like the plastic, your waste bottle, and all that. So it has a lot of benefit, but by protecting it, not only for the purpose of climate change, but protecting it as an important integral part of our ecosystem, it will help us to be in a better position to manage, mitigate the impact of climate change.
President Wavol Ramkalawan has appointed Tony Imadua as the new Principal Secretary for Energy and Climate Change. Mr. Imadua, who holds a bachelor's degree in biomedical and material science engineering from the University of London, has over 19 years working experience in the public service. Prior to his appointment as Principal Secretary, Mr. Imadua was a Chief Executive Officer of the Seychelles Energy Commission, a post he has served since 2014. His appointment takes effect as from the 1st of October. The Ministry for Fisheries and Blue Economy has confirmed that the Chief Executive Officer of the Seychelles Fishing Authority, Nicole Elizabeth, will not be renewing his contract as a CEO. In a communiqué, the ministry said that Mr. Elizabeth reached the end of his 2-year contract with the authority on the 31st of August this year, and he has decided not to seek a renewal of his contract. The ministry says that while the SFA is undergoing procedures to get a replacement for the post of CEO, internal arrangements are being finalized to ensure the smooth management of the authority. And with this, we end this news summary. We'll be back at 8 for the news in Creole. Good evening.